Bold predictions, something we do on this show every single night this time of year. The things that you claim you believe so much, you would bet your own money. And in some cases, you send me screenshots of betting slips. So whether you screenshot your prediction or not, past tense screenshot, we're here for you, and we're here to hear this. First up tonight, it's a bold prediction here. Ohio State made some moves in the portal. Drew said Ohio State's running back duo will each have 1,000+ yards on the ground this season. So that's Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. Travion had 926 on the ground last year, and he didn't play the whole season. Judkins had a little over 1,100 at Ole Miss. How common do you think this is? How many times will teams have multiple 1,000-yard rushers? It hasn't happened at the Power 5 level since 2020. Trivia. Who was it? Whomst was it? Which team had 2,000-yard rushers on the same squad in 2020? That was University of North Carolina. So it hasn't happened since then. Only 45 players entirely had 1,000 yards last year. So we're asking for two of them to be on the same team here. I still only make this an 8.5 on the boldness scale because I think I actually am with you. I think this will happen. And think about what we have working against us. Number one, it's just really hard to do. Number two, Will Howard's the quarterback there this year. He is also a runner, so he may take some of that carry and yardage workload away. Thirdly, you got to keep both guys healthy. Fourthly, I'll tell you fourthly, the one thing we have going for us is Ohio State probably plays with a lead a lot, and they're looking to shorten games. Therefore, they're looking to run the ball a little bit more. The rare fifthly here. Fifthly, truth be told, this should be their style of play this year. They can afford to bludgeon you, and they're capable of doing it. So it's an 8.5 on the boldness scale for me, and I want some of that action immunity, so I'm with you. Next up, why does he say immunity so much? Someone asked in the live chat the other day. Well, if you've ever had a "that's what she said" dropped on you, you understand. You got to say immunity beforehand, and they're not allowed to say it to you. And if that's still confusing, don't worry about it. Next up, from Pendergrass, Georgia. Georgia beats Bama, Texas, and Ole Miss all on the road by double digits. You know what, Jesse? I didn't see that last little part there by double digits, so that changes things significantly. We've got a 9.75 on our hands here. Georgia's not beating those three teams by double digits. There's a definitive statement in July for the haters who say I never make it. Georgia's in a new world here. You know, Georgia, not that they're not premier in every sense of the word as a program, but this schedule is about to be a different world for Georgia moving forward too, since you don't get to feast on the SEC East anymore. They go to Alabama. They're going to be about a 3.5-point favorite as it stands right now, about a field goal or so favorite at Alabama. They go to Texas. They will, as of now, be favored. They're favored by 1.5 at Texas right now. They look to be favored by somewhere between 4 and 5 points at Ole Miss, as of now. And they're going to win all three of those by double digits. Well, I don't think they are. I don't think they're going to win all three of the games, much less by double digits. Ooh. So 9.75 on the boldness scale for me there. That will be viewed in some parts of my home state as disrespect. Next up, we have a 10. We have a 10. Listen to this. Travis, hometown Lynchburg, Virginia, making a statement that, Travis, quite frankly, I am not sure you have placed your own hard-earned money on. But nevertheless, Colorado and Virginia Tech make the playoff. This is a 10. Just not going to happen. But both of them making the playoff, if you did parlay that, one of the most evil words in the English-speaking language, parlay, $10 would return a little over $2,700. So that's what FanDuel thinks about it. In other words, they are begging for that $10 bill because they can apparently spend it wiser than you can. Virginia Tech's over-under win total is 8.5. They are plus 950 to make the playoff. They have the 6th best odds to win the ACC. That's already a long shot. We have to have them win that thing or make the playoff. And then we also have to have Colorado with an over-under win total at 5.5, with the 11th best odds to win the Big 12, plus 2,500 to make the playoff. We have to have both of them make it. Side note, did you notice that Colorado has the 11th best odds to win their own conference, but they are a top 20 team for EA Sports? Is anyone noticing the discrepancy? No, just me? Okay. That's a 10. I don't know what else to say. That's a 10. And Travis, I'm going to need to see the screenshot on the betting slip because I'm not sure if I know you like I think I do, although we've never met, that you believe that. Next up, now what would have to happen for this to go down? Stan out of Knoxville said a 10-2 SEC team gets left out of the playoff. Well, where is this happening, first off? And no matter where it happens, how did it happen? I've got to believe there is no world where the SEC is down and a 10-2 team is left out. Because that would mean you have a shortage of SEC teams in the playoff, which means they're looking for anybody worth anything. And 10-2 would more than get you in. So the only way this happens is if the SEC's loaded this year. And there's a whole bunch of 12-0 or 11-1 or a bunch of 10-2, and one of the 10-2 teams on the periphery gets left out in the cold just because there wasn't room for them because there were too many SEC teams. This probably also means Notre Dame took up a spot. They're in. The Big Ten was probably strong, and there were just enough quality teams to where a 10-2 SEC got left out. I don't think a 10-2 SEC is getting left out. So this is a 9.25 on the boldness scale, and if a 10-2 SEC team does get left out, can you imagine Oklahoma going 10-2 and they lost to Texas, so Texas is in the SEC championship game against Georgia or someone like that. So OU goes 10-2. They did everything that you asked of them, far above and beyond you think the barometer to make the playoff, and they're out so that Liberty can go to the playoff. Can you imagine the warranted outrage in Norman, Oklahoma? Yeah, so that's a 9.75 for me.